Hello, dear friends. We are ready to experience a higher possible timeline. Opinion piece, peace and glory, golden age, stupid wars, gold backing, quantum leap, wealth prosperity. Let's start. The phrase, here peace and after glory, has a biblical origin linked to the idea of earthly peace and heavenly glory. It is based on the greeting of an angel announcing the arrival of the Messiah to the shepherds. Over time, this phrase became popular as a way to settle arguments or end the matter. Achieving global peace and prosperity, returning stolen money to citizens, protecting speech freedom, and making a quantum leap into a new golden age were some of President Trump's promises during his speech at the Future Investment Initiative Priority Summit in Miami Beach, Florida. He says he wants peace, and above all, we are entering the golden age. Although it is very complicated to clean up the dark side of the force, many things have been achieved in just 1 month. He literally said, I am moving quickly to end all stupid wars, resolve conflicts, and restore peace to the planet. I want peace, and I don't want to see everyone being killed. And look at the death in the Middle East or enter Russia and Ukraine. It has happened, and we are going to put an end to it. There is no gain for anyone in having a third world war, and we are not that far from that. If we had had the Biden administration for another year, we would have been in the Third World War, but now it is not going to happen. Close quotes. That is, if he had not won the elections, we would already be in a third party, but now humankind is on another timeline towards a golden age. He wants to end all wars and wants peace, and this intention is consistent with the Israel program that aims for here to be no war on planet Earth and for an era of abundance and prosperity to come. President Trump criticized Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, accusing him of deliberately prolonging the war and referring to him as a dictator without elections. In addition, he expressed his intention to improve relations with Russia. He also claimed to be working on negotiations to end the war between Russia and Ukraine, as well as the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Prosperity. In another interesting part of his speech, President Trump talked about wealth coming to everyone and promised to work for a new era of economic prosperity. But he has to put his house in order first, or fix his own economy before trying to fix the economy of others. Then he will come to the aid of all countries in the world that need it. He also supported the idea of returning to citizens part of the taxes seized by Elon Musk. I hope that my greatest legacy will be to be a peacemaker and a unifier, he said. So the golden age is upon us, and Trump invites everyone to participate in the most extraordinary period of peace, prosperity, growth, innovation, wealth creation and expansion that the world has ever seen, with booming incomes, increasing production, flourishing innovative technologies, exciting discoveries, and a quantum leap in life. A quantum leap means that you are in one position and suddenly you are in another one improved position by surprise, without having seen the trajectory of the change because of the speed. What he says is that he's going to take us to a level of quantum consciousness where he is going to radically change what we are today, because everything that is coming is going to be very powerful, a transformation that is not going to be gradual but quantum. all the presidents of the world should prioritize the interest of their own country over all other countries, because you cannot help anyone if you are not prosperous. That is, you cannot try to fix other people's houses if you don't fix first your own. That is why Trump said that when everything is beautiful, we want to help other countries. Or translated another way, once NISRA is launched in his home country, economic problems are resolved and the revaluation of currencies is launched. NISRA would be launched in the rest of the world. Therefore, the president intends to be a peacemaker without the need, and a unifier without the need to participate in stupid wars. Trump wants world peace. He wants all countries to be in order, evil to be dissolved through military trials, and when this is done, the NISRA program can be launched worldwide. Remember that the current dollar is a well-reserved currency and is used throughout the economy today. So, if the US is going to launch a new rainbow dollar once Washington is in order, then we will have Elon Musk's information about the Fed, and we will have the data from Fort Knox, because we don't know if all the gold they claim to have is there. If some of the gold were found to be missing from the vaults, then things would get complicated for the cabal, because the truth of the economic manipulation of money that is not backed by anything would come out, which would justify the launch of the gold-backed rainbow dollar. Anyway, the QFS is going to be launched in a quantum way, as the President says. It's going to come out overnight without any warning, and everyone will be shocked and unable to believe what is happening, except those of us who are warned, and we won't be so surprised. This is not the end of the world, but the beginning of the new golden age. Economy. Trump is restoring the gold standard and abolishing the income tax, promising economic changes and saving families money. Elon Musk confirms that those the Biden checks are coming. It's money that is taken away from things that are destructive to the country and organizations that hate you, he said. Gone will be the dark days of high taxes, crushing regulations, rampant inflation, blatant corruption, and total incompetence. Revelations. Attorney General Pam Bondi has announced the release of a large trove of documents on Epstein and Diddy. They sold their souls to become rich and famous. Then the unavoidable public grief would begin. The average person's sanity would be challenged. The disbelief would seem surreal, according to Coach Jerry. According to Poet Talk, 12 years ago, Mr. Apocalypse told him in detail what was coming, and it has been exactly as he told him it would be. According to James Howard Kanstler, the revelations that are coming have the potential to completely reconfigure our notion of the relationship between the citizen and the state. Curious. Good news from NASA. The probability of an asteroid hitting Earth in December 2032 has dramatically decreased. I never believed that. According to the Revelatorium, humankind is not evolving into the fifth dimension. We are returning to the fifth dimension, which is the starting point of creation. Through Lucifer's meddling, the Adamic population of Earth descended into from the fifth dimension into the three-dimensional subjugation, and 3.5 billion years ago. A monumental paradigm shift is coming that takes us away from the old world, according to Ariel Proletario 1. we need to mentally prepare for what is coming. What will you do when you no longer have financial difficulties? What will you do when you no longer have an excuse not to be a good person? What will you do when you no longer have an excuse not to be an asset to your community? Change your way of thinking before you are forced to do something you are not ready for. USA. Trump fires the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Trump fires the head of the Navy in an unprecedented purge. Trump says he's tired of how Zelensky is managing the war. The US threatens to cut off Starlink to Ukraine, essential for its army. Trump says Putin wants to reach an agreement on Ukraine, but he could keep the whole country if he wanted to. Russia and China could take over if the US leaves the UN, but the dissolution of the organization would trigger conflicts. Trump bans federal scientists from working on false weather narrative. Kilauea volcano lands lava at more than 120 meters high. Europe. Trump says he would not oppose the deployment of European peacekeeping troops in Ukraine. High energy prices will kill Europe's economy, warns Orban. UK leaders plan military recruitment and war with Russia. Apple pulls encrypted iCloud security feature in UK amid government demands for backdoor. Tim Hardick says. EU agrees new sanctions against Russian oil and aluminium. Russia is the enemy, but Spain and the EU don't stop buying liquefied gas from it. New agreement between Egypt and Cyprus to export natural gas to Europe. Spain. Occupations will rise 7.4% in 2024, with Catalonia leading the way with more than 7,000 complaints. The ills of the Spanish army. Low salaries, inaccessible housing, and fewer enlisted men. Americas. The Mexican peso shows resistance in the first month of Trump's government. Russian drones contribute to the study of the Nazca lines in Peru. The Argentine justice system begins an investigation against Milei for the Libra scandal. The Supreme Court of Brazil orders the blocking of Rumble in the countries. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.